this morning for you on Daybreak. The St. Louis Cardinals weigh in after the Springfield affiliate has filed a suit against the owners of Hammons Field. Also, how a state representative is looking to eliminate the requirement to have an excuse to vote absentee. And a new partnership allows students more access to services provided by the Boys and Girls Club. We'll explain how and more coming up this morning on Daybreak. It is a Thursday, February 27th, everyone. I'm Joe Morano, Lauren Barnes with the morning off, but we are all here bringing you the news and weather and sports and all the things that you need to know. Meteorologist Elisa Rappa is here. Real life person, not the cartoon portion, right?
Not the cartoon. I'll also, coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, have a really cool story on snow decline. Do you have a shovel?
No, I don't have a shovel. I don't need a shovel.
You don't need a shovel. A lot of people actually told me that when I asked them,
Really?
do you have a shovel? They're like, oh. And if they did, they were like, when was the last time I used that? So it has been snowing a lot lately, so I'll kind of dig into a little bit of why.
So we'll look into that with Springfield. Good pun, of course, as well. And also, starting off this morning, though, it is still cold. We still have that with us.
Yeah, it's colder out there this morning with temperatures starting in the 20s. We've got clear skies out there. It is 23 degrees in Springfield. We're starting to find these winds shift to the south, and that will help our temperatures recover today. Starting out with some clear skies out there this morning, we've got temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees colder now than it was this time yesterday. It's 23 degrees in Springfield, 19 at Lake of the Ozarks, and 25 degrees in Branson. So again, winds are fairly calm, but shifting to the south. We are finding some wind chills in the teens at times. It feels like 14 in Springfield, 11 in Rolla, and 14 in Fort Leonard Wood. So dry roads as we head through the afternoon. We'll find an increase in cloud cover, but we should stay dry through most of the day. We're looking at a temperature of 48 degrees by dismissal, which is warmer than yesterday. Yesterday we got stuck at 35 degrees, and it is closer to the average of 52. We do have some light and spotty shower chances to talk about for tonight and into tomorrow. A big weekend warm-up is on its way ahead of a flooding concern possibly returning. Details on that coming up in 10 minutes. Joe?
A spokeswoman for the Roman Catholic Diocese of Springfield, Cape Girardeau, says a retired priest arrested last week was allowed to keep his job after he was accused of sexual abuse 20 years ago. 76-year-old Frederick Lutz was arrested in Springfield and taken to a county jail in the Cape Girardeau area for charges from that report. He was accused of forcing a 17-year-old to perform sexual acts on him on church grounds. According to a statement, those allegations were reported a few days after the incident, and Lutz apologized to the teen later. Lutz continued his career and retired in 2011, but Leslie Edson, a spokeswoman for the diocese, said that they knew of the allegations in 2002, but allowed him to continue his work until he retired. Edson also says the former Stoddard County prosecutor didn't find the accusations to be credible. Now, that prosecutor told the Springfield News Leader he doesn't remember even hearing of the issue. Edson says if charges would have been filed, the review board could have met to determine further action. Lutz was also accused of a similar incident from 1972. That information didn't reach the diocese until 2016, and right now Lutz is only charged in that 2000 incident, but could mean life in prison if convicted. Parking price increases and a lack of stadium renovations is what the Springfield Cardinals are citing in its lawsuit against the JQH Trust Fund and JD Holdings. When Hammons Field opened 15 years ago, it was regarded as one of the best minor league parks in the country. We spoke to St. Louis Cardinals Senior VP Mike Whittle. He says the Cardinals requested improvements for the venue the past 2 years, but they didn't finish. Parking prices have also increased from $7 to almost $20. Whittle says these issues have led to low attendance over the years, and the stadium is no longer even in the top 25% of the Texas League. We spoke to Cardinal fans, and not many commented on the field conditions, but almost everyone noticed significant increases in parking prices. The Cardinals do have the legal option to end its lease on Hammons Field, but that's not what the team wants.
Once we saw parking prices getting out of control, we exercised our rights to buy those spaces at a reasonable price so that we can pass along a reasonable price, to our fans. We're hopeful that that there will be a swift resolution to these issues.
Our calls to JQH Trust and JD Holdings were not returned yesterday. In our education coverage, some Springfield public schools kids will have more access to services provided by the Boys and Girls Clubs as part of a new partnership with the district. This morning, Nigel McDonald joins us to share how that partnership hopes to make life easier for families.
Well, good morning, Joe. The new collaboration will provide a safe space for students at Williams Elementary to spend time before and after school. Now, Boys and Girls Clubs of Springfield CEO Brandy Harris tells me this new addition means a lot to the families who call that neighborhood home. The Boys and Girls Club of Springfield is expanding its services to better serve families.
Maybe meet them where they are a little bit.
At Williams Elementary, CEO Brandy Harris says
Williams was constantly at the top of mind for us because it is in a neighborhood that we don't regularly serve in.
Harris says a few Williams students are currently bused to the nearest location 2.5 miles away, but
for some parents it's incredibly difficult to be able to coordinate to get their kids and then drive them back to their communities.
A community Harris knows well.
When I posted about this story, my mom was like, I will never forget being so worried about you guys walking home after school while I was at work, but I always knew that things were going to work out okay. And parents worry about their kids. When they're in school, it's okay, right? But what happens after school? These are people who are working very hard to police. We exist to make things a little bit easier for people.
Harris says the nonprofit is intentional about serving
people the way we need to serve them, not the way we think we need to serve them.
This partnership will provide a safe space for the students. Williams Elementary Principal Amanda Dessa says
it's really exciting for them to be able to work with the Boys and Girls Club members because they are invested in our kids.
Dessa says
we're hoping to serve about 200 more students, and it's really exciting because this is going to be a safe and dedicated space just for them.
That dedicated safe space is expected to be open by August of 2021. Well, the Boys and Girls Clubs is now seeking community help as it must raise $1 million to make the new center a reality come August of 2021.
All right, thank you, Nigel. We move on now. There could be a change to the way absentee voting happens in Missouri. State Representative Peggy McCaw has come up with the bill, and it would eliminate the requirement to have an excuse to vote absentee. She believes the long lines you see on Election Day at some polling spots could be shortened if the state eliminated the need to have an excuse to vote. St. Louis County election official Eric Fay also supports this proposal.
If we could allow, with no excuse absentee voting, more people, 20, 30, 40, 50% of the voters to vote prior to Election Day, that makes Election Day much less of an event. All of our bordering states around Missouri allow some form of this, and it makes Election Day run much more smoothly.
As it stands now, Missouri voters can vote absentee, but still must meet certain qualifications.
And we've got some dry roads on our Color 10 live drive this morning. Skies are clear and temperatures are colder. It is 23 degrees right now in Springfield. Details on a little bit of a warm up for today, but a big one by the time the weekend gets here, coming up next.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.